How y'all doing? Y'all are listening to the St. Michael Show, and let's get right into it. I know y'all probably wondering, like, this is super unorthodox. Where's your shirt? Like, you ain't been recording in a couple weeks. Like, what's going on? And I'm gonna be honest, I've been losing my fucking mind. Like, literally, I literally been losing my mind. Like, on a daily basis. It's like, I've been wanting to record every single day. Every day I've been wanting to record, but it's like, something like, no, not yet. No, not yet. No, not yet. But today, I wouldn't even have been able to go to bed if I didn't record an episode today, just because I've been having so many revelations and so guys like God has literally been purposely putting me in situations where I'm able to see that He exists. If you get what I'm saying, probably don't, but it's a me thing. Like I said, I've been going through a lot. Like a nigga's definitely been going through a lot, man. And I don't really know how to feel. Like I'm all out of tears and emotions and however, negatively I was feeling about things at first. Now I'm able to go through it and kind of like analyze it in a way like, okay, now what was all of that for? I know y'all probably don't know, the last time I recorded an episode, I was employed with St. Vincent de Paul. As of now, I'm not. A couple weeks ago, me and the company weren't seeing eye to eye on some things. I'm not going to speak on directly, what those things are. Just for self-preservation and protecting their brand, right? Because I'm not in the business of tearing nobody down. I'm not in the business of placing blame on any one party, because honestly, like, I play my part in it as well. Just being myself, and not everybody is able to handle how powerful your personality can be. I felt like I was misjudged. In a way, like I felt like I was ostracized. It was times I felt like I was being bullied. It was times I didn't feel protected. And this is a lot coming from a black man, right? Because we supposed to have it all together. We supposed to just push through when stuff ain't going our way, and we just supposed to just push through life like we don't have any feelings and emotions, and stuff don't affect us just because we men. And black men at that, they look at us like we are just emotionless, just heartless beings, and we love too, we care too, we feel too, we cry too. You know what I mean? And one of the main reasons I was like, ain't no way I'm going to bed without recording tonight. And it's crazy because I don't talk about like what's going on in the world. Like I don't talk about like real life stuff, like media stuff. I'm gonna say I try to stay away from what's going on in the real world when it comes to my podcast, because I don't want to be. That's not what this is. Like this is not current events. Like I don't. That's not ever what I want this to be. But like I was saying, the reason why I made sure that I recorded today, because I seen this clip on Facebook where Ryan Clark got fired from ESPN, and they was trying to like make a whole big thing like it was what they say, it was a layoff or something like that. No, he got fired, and he was literally one of the best at what he does. He was an actual football athlete, so he was actually an athlete. He had the skills. He had everything, all of the intangibles to be one of the best sports analysts on the network, right? And he said this quote that I always say myself, and this is something that I said and I knew before I even went into social services. And it was you have to be twice as good just to get half as notice. And I was telling my boss that, I was telling, coworkers that, like that's what I was feeling like, because it's like coming down from the call center into social services, I already, like I said, I came down with that fire, I came down with that energy, and I just really wanted to help. So when I got down there and I wasn't received the way that I thought I would be received, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, this is not the camaraderie that they were advertising when I was in the call center to get me over here. So there was that. Amongst other things, a bunch of small work stuff that I could have overcame just with the right mindset. But it was a lot. It was a lot of stuff going on outside of work too that kind of led to my decision on me having to put my 2 weeks notice in and stuff like that. But it's crazy because I didn't even really get to put my 2 weeks notice in. Me putting my 2 weeks notice in turning into me getting fired that day. So, because I still had intentions on finishing all of my cases, making sure everything's clean, making sure I'm not leaving work on the next person. So when I got fired, I was like, oh, I really am expendable. Like, they really don't care about me. Like, they'll find another, person to take orders. Because that's really what I'm learning that jobs are. It's just a person to take orders and delegate tasks. It's not really about what it's supposed to be about anymore. Like, in social services, we there to help people. I've seen more people get turned away for some of the smaller stuff that we could probably assist with. And I've seen a lot of judgment on neighbors, a lot of, oh, they living above their means, that's why they da. It was times people came in there that was making more than me. I'm making $19 an hour. There's people coming in there making $34 an hour, $40 an hour, still need help. So, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of was weighing on. It was a lot of stuff, man, that was just weighing on me. And then I was going through an identity crisis because, when I first came in, I'm just kind of lax, like my clothes and stuff like that. I'm lax, I'm laid back, you know what I mean? I'm trying to not set myself so far apart that I don't look recognizable to the neighbor. So that's why I would wear gym shoes with like my slacks, or I would, kind of dress down. Even though I'm dressing up, I still would dress down because, like I said, I started to see myself becoming unrecognizable to the neighbors to the point to where I had that one conversation that I talked about, I think in a couple episodes ago. I talked about where I had a conversation with this lady, and she basically looked at me like, oh, you think you're better than us because, you work at St. Vincent de Paul and you looking down on us. And it was like, no, like literally, I'm a decision away from being in the same predicament that you are in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not no better. You feel me? Like, now that I'm fired, I don't have any income. I don't have nothing to make sure that, I'm like you now. Like, we in the same boat. Like, we're in the same boat. So, being where I'm at now on the other side and seeing like, okay, my skill set wasn't valued, who I wasn't, taken into consideration, because I did a lot for St. Vincent de Paul. I honestly, I feel like I can say, like, I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into St. Vincent de Paul, into helping neighbors, into just being what God called me to be. In that capacity, I feel like I did the best that I could do. So, when you feel like you do the best that you can do and it's still not enough, how do you press forward after that? Because when I say, like, literally, I was battling myself every day to go to work because I know I was helping people and I know that in my heart I was doing the right thing, but I didn't feel fulfilled. I feel like something was still missing. And now that I'm recording, I know what it is. It's literally, I know who I am. I know what God called me to be. I know what that looks like. So when I'm not able to be that, it's a problem. It started with the whole, my vision board. My vision board was too much for neighbors. They were saying it was sensory overload or something like that. And I was like, what? So y'all tried to pull, I don't have my therapy license, so I don't have the skill to, or the right to inspire people. Like, that alone, it threw me. And that was one of the biggest reasons, like, where I was like, yeah, I cannot do it anymore. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my 2 weeks notice in. At this point, it's really non-negotiable. I had one thing that would have kept me, and that was a meeting with the CEO. You know what I mean? I wanted to set up a meeting with the CEO, and to me, I feel like I've seen him more on occasions of less importance than I've seen him on occasions where, like, hey, you about to lose somebody who really loves to work here, who wants to be the hands and feet of Christ, and doesn't have to really step outside himself too much to be what St. Vincent de Paul needs. And I didn't sense the urgency. You know what I mean? So I bet on myself, I took a risk on myself and was like, all right, I'm not about to have a job. I'm not about to have no income. At this point, it's literally just me and God. No matter how we go, it's literally just me and God. I have this much trust and this much faith in our relationship and what we can do, because all the things that I've been through in my life, all the things that I've seen, I could not believe in God even if I tried. So this to me is just me exercising the power of God. Because like I said, I didn't have any backup plan or nothing. I just knew that if I couldn't be light, I couldn't be there. So as bad as these are my people, like, I grew up down here, and it hurt, man. It really hurt. It really hurt. And I'm trying not to get emotional thinking about it, but when God calls you to be something, it is non-negotiable, man. It don't matter what man says. It don't matter how you feel about it. Like literally, I've been walking with God. Because if it was up to me, I would say, even though it wasn't a favorable position for me, I really wasn't making the money that I felt like I should have made. I really wasn't helping people in the capacity that I know I could help them because I was being nerfed. I literally was being nerfed. Like they took my vision board away. Then it was like they took away like they started changing rules, and it was a bunch of crazy stuff that was happening that I knew it was because of me. And it's like I started to feel bad for my coworkers because it's like stuff started changing. And I'm like, we can't have this, man. Like this, I started to feel like more of a distraction than a help. And I was like, nah, that ain't what God wanted for me. So as much as I wanted to stay, I had to go. And now as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil. Man. But we still doing that giveaway, top of August. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Stay tuned in because you never know how it may play out. It may not be like the August 1st, but I'll say that first week is when I'm going to do the season finale, and then I'm going to do I'm going to do an announcement a couple days prior before I do the drawing and everything like that, and then we're going to go from there. But honestly, I appreciate all of the people who still sticking around through all of this uncertainty, because I know that when you kind of get attached to something, you want a certain level of consistency, and I want to be able to give that to you guys. But I'm literally following what God wants me to do. So if that's to wait 3 or 4 days before I record it again, then that's what it will be. But like I said, I'm deeply grateful and I have deep gratitude for the people who love me and care about me and are willing to stick through these hard and these trying times with me. I don't know what I would do without y'all. So until next time, peace.